wants to get in there. We have a pedestrian, we have a cyclist, eh? What is going on? Welcome back to Spicy Tech. I am Mark.
I'm Cry.
And we do apologize in advance. Cry does have the cold, so she might be MIA in this video. So you'll be mostly hearing my voice. Today we'll be doing a rush hour video on city streets. You might get some highway footage as well as downtown Toronto footage as well. So stay tuned. We're going to have it on assertive mode, and we're running 11.4.7.3. So let's see how Marsha performs in such conditions. Enabling it now. I'm going to turn it to assertive mode and just bump up that speed there to match the speed of traffic, which I find is strange because on the highway, I think, well, now the system, it actually adapts to the speed of the traffic. City streets, not so much. I think I've seen it once, and perhaps you might see it in this video, but so far, no sign of that. So there's a lot going on. A lot of cars, of course, because it's rush hour, bumper-to-bumper traffic. A lot of intersections too as well. So we'll be testing that out too, because before, in the previous iterations of the software, every time the car passed an intersection, it started to slow down. It started to phantom brake because it was anticipating pedestrians crossing and their trajectories and so on. So it was a little bit, it felt a little bit, it lacked a lot of confidence in that regard. Based on previous experience, because this is not our first impressions of 11.4.7.3, it has improved. It has improved. Okay, so now we have a construction zone here. We have the left lane ending. We have cars trying to merge into our lane. Marsha doesn't want to give this car to our left a chance, and they were behind us, and she's slowing down because she's seen the pedestrian on the right as well as the car. But continues on safely, and I should keep that down to 40 because it's a construction zone here. Oops, she's trying to freak out because of the cones and construction. I gave it some juice, some joules, and she continued on there. We have a kind of a blind hill here, and she wants to make a left turn here. Yeah, that wasn't really smart at all. But cancelled right off the bat. So that was a blind hill, cars making left turn, and then she wanted to make a left turn while you know all that was happening, then cancelled it. And it was an intersection too as well, so that's what Cry mentioned there. So that wasn't a good move. Perhaps let me just report that. Yeah, she responded there a little bit quickly, but then backtracked and pressed brakes for some reason before continuing on. So I'm not too sure if there's a delay in that regard when that car was taking the right turn. Lanes here are very narrow, and she's handling it pretty well. And we also have the lane too as well, the middle lane, or the lines for the lane. The visualizations, I'm not too sure if you saw it, but it looks like it was at first sight, if you look at it, it looks like a solid line because of the paint that was on the actual lines, but it looks like it's identifying it now fine because it's more clear. It's kind of blocking this entrance here to the plaza, and that's where you have the common courtesy where you should not be blocking driveways like this to allow cars to pass. A little bit hesitant here. We have this mini coupe with its butt poking out like that, and then we have our right turn coming up right now. It still has that issue though, where the indicator comes on, it blinks for a couple seconds, and then it comes back off. It's still doing that. It's kind of confusing for the car behind, right? You'll think that you want to change your mind last minute. So we have a pedestrian crossing here, cyclist on the right. Marsha wants to continue, although we should have waited for that pedestrian to cross. That's the law in Ontario. But they were moving at a really slow speed. This person is coming into our lane, and she kind of swerves away from them. So that was good. I wouldn't report that one. That one was, if the person was coming at speed and we were looking to, and it was very unsafe, I would have just canceled it completely. Oh, we have the notorious phantom wiping. It just comes on randomly when it's clear. Usually it doesn't happen with clear skies like these. Normally with cloudy skies you would have it. Oh, a little bit of a delayed reaction there. Yeah, it was still good, and it actually swayed away from the cars that were lined up for that left turn. Okay, so last minute change by this person here, wanted to go into the left lane. So we see that humans, they do the same thing. Slow it back down to 60, probably 55 should be good enough. We got some nice wipers there again. And it's definitely with this iteration of the software, we are having this random wipers coming on in broad daylight with clear skies. And this is even after taking the car for a wash. We just washed it a couple of days ago and we cleaned it out. So, yep. Not too sure why she's continuously pressing brakes there. Not too sure if it's because we're on a curvature on the hill. I'm not too sure why. But it felt like she was going to stop completely. And so I was a little bit worried because there was a car that was approaching from behind. It's right next to us, right behind us. So I had to give it some joules there. Looks like we have some construction coming up. Okay, she handled that well. They didn't indicate at all, and that was decent. We have cars trying to. Yeah, she did that. Yeah, really good. No indicator from this Range Rover as well, and yeah, she shouldn't have gone that close. Yeah, it didn't feel that safe, but I mean, from the driver's side, it felt all right, but still, I wouldn't have gotten that close myself. So that was good. Yeah, exactly. Saying is that it comes off as aggressive, and then that person might get, they might get annoyed, and you have road rage, etc., etc. So it's good to be more defensive. So Cry mentioned that getting too close to the car gives them a sense that you're being aggressive or being, you're bullying them into the lane, etc. So I would have given more room, some more space, and it's getting a little bit thrown off by the pedestrian on the right side. You have to start indicating now. There's no indication here, so cars behind don't know. Okay, so now she indicates. No, she doesn't. So she's look like she's getting aggressive. You need to start indicating. Yeah, indicate. Thank you. So they're giving us some space here, and they gave us. Yeah, so that whole assertive mode, it just feels like the system is just aggressive. Like for that example there, I didn't get a chance, and then the system she just accelerated quickly and tried to get into the space there. And what Cry mentioned is that the way how she maneuvered into the lane, it just swung into the lane like that. It kind of gives off the impression that you're being aggressive, that the driver is aggressive, and it's getting a little bit close to this car in front, so I'm watching that. So again, you can see there's a lot going on, cars coming either directions, pedestrians are crossing, construction on the right side, lanes are off. This is welcome to Toronto. You always get welcomed with construction. So we have some blinking lights now. We have a truck that wants to get in. No. And we were also in the blind spot of the truck too as well, as Cry mentioned. So that was definitely, yeah. So pedestrian coming on the right side, she just freaks out. We have a car poking his head out on the right side here too as well. And I'm just giving it some joules. I'm giving the system some joules because she's a little bit hesitant here. If it was me, I would look to see if the traffic light was red, and if that person is poking out their heads and the left side is clear, I would allow them to go, just out of common courtesy. That's a preference. But if you're also being assertive, you're not being aggressive. You're being confident in your decisions. You're being defensive. and you have common courtesy in terms of giving room. I'm not too sure what happened here with that truck, but just made a wide turn in a lane, in the middle of a lane. Yeah, a little too close to this truck. I mean, it identifies the truck. I would give it more space. So I'm not too sure what the system is thinking there. Person coming out of their car, it still doesn't, it does recognize them. Kind of late though. Person reversing here, trying to squeeze into a spot that is clearly too small for them. Yeah. Pedestrian crossing with some roses. And we have another pedestrian here that wants to cross. Out of common courtesy, as a preference, I would have stopped and let the pedestrian cross, but the system does not recognize that or do that. But this is a lot. Look at that, folks. A lot is happening here. This person wants to make a left turn. Yeah, needs to anticipate that. Did not anticipate the car that was making the left turn. Should have waited and not cross to go into their path. Yeah, we had a green light, so they should have just stayed put. And I'm surprised. Okay, I was about to say that I'm surprised that assertive mode has not overtaken this truck as yet. And as soon as I said that, Marsha woke up. Okay, so we have a curvature road here. We have a car making a right turn. She wants to go left. Okay. Yeah. It's a solid line. It looks like it's a navigation thing because the car was indicating to go left, even though we just were continuing on with the course of the road. So it's probably confusing to cars behind or to the left of us, thinking that we might want to get into their lane on a solid line. But we now have dotted lines, but before it was solid, because they don't want cars, of course, making lane changes when there's a solid line on a curvature road. Just gonna bump it up to 60. Just to match traffic speed. I should be doing this. I mean, it does it on the highway. Perhaps it's more trained and we have our cars at a full stop here, so she should start slowing down and anticipate that. And that was all right. That was good. And okay, she kind of squeezes in that lane there, which was kind of sketchy. Again, it's aggressive. It feels aggressive. Someone who's driving aggressively makes those last minute changes without without thinking about the cars behind, because there was a car coming at speed, right? I mean, they were slowing down, granted, but if you want to be assertive, you need to be defensive, or you need to have more well thought out decision making lane changes or well thought out lane changes. Like I would have, if it was assertive, it would have just probably overtaken the truck, which it did well. It did fine. This car's kind of coming close to us. But at the same time, get back into the lane if the turn is coming up close, right? So of course, coming out of here, merging. Okay, so she wants to go across into the Don Valley Parkway, folks. Okay, so hang on tight because we are entering in the Don Valley Parkway, which is really, it has a lot of curves. It also is very narrow, and it usually has traffic. So let's see how Marsha tackles this. We should be, I would start getting up to speed. This car's right behind me. Not too close, but we need to, oh wow, this is, okay, that's strange, but yeah, we had room there, and she went in fine. That was great. It's 60. Max speed is 60. I thought we were actually on the highway, but we aren't. So my bad. It was a weird merger. You can imagine how it would have been. So we just got a little taste of that. not fully the Don Valley that I was hoping for. And then we have a high curvature road here. She slows down, puts that high beams on, and we have a police officer. We just have the car driving us to our destination. So now folks, this is the real deal here. Perfect lane change. This is the Don Valley, folks. This is the real deal here. Narrow lanes, curvy roads, high speed. And she gets up to speed really quickly. And that felt really smooth. It felt assertive. It felt natural, almost as if, or even better than a human. Okay, so traffic is slowing down because we have our usual traffic. So what Cry is mentioning is that with stop and go traffic, or even with anticipating cars that are slowed down in front of us. So for example, when cars are going fast and when cars are going fast and all of a sudden there's an abrupt slowdown. Marsha now with FSD, with the update, it's handling it really well. Really smoothly and not jerky as we used to see from before in the early iterations. So again, just to reiterate, it's really, really smooth when it comes to stop and go traffic at high speeds. Let's see. Yeah, did a pretty good job. And we can also see it's trying to anticipate, as usual, with these recent updates, the trajectory of the car in front of us. You can see that blue line extending well in front of the car. And I think that's what is helping with the natural feel of slowing down at high speed or slowing down in anticipation of the car in front that is stopping abruptly. And we just had someone just swing into our lane there with no indication at all. Stopped a little bit abruptly there, so that wasn't as good as before. I'm not too sure of this. Yeah, exactly. I'm not too sure if the system is reacting like that because of the brilliant person in front of us. Makes this curvature road really well. No complaints. Once we get in there, we have a pedestrian, we have a cyclist, eh? What is going on? Wow. How did they get there? That is crazy. Well, you saw it here, folks. Again, welcome to downtown Toronto. And we're almost at our destination. We're almost at the distillery district. We have our left turn coming up. Let us know in the comments right now what you're thinking and how you're feeling about this this whole navigation here. We now hit downtown. We're now in downtown Toronto. And we have a busy left turn here. You should be going up into the box, keeping the steering wheel straight and not moving back and forth. Stop right here. Stop right here. Okay, so we're in a good position here. And she needs to go. She needs to go, but she's not going to go because it had a red light. So I can't remain inside that box, so that wasn't bad. That wasn't terrible. Yeah. And we have some winding roads here. Yellow lines all over the place. Seeing some cyclists and electric scooters and electric bikes. Some jaywalkers. You know, we're home. We're home. We're in the bike lane right now, so I don't like that. I'm gonna disengage there. Yeah, exactly. That person that was making that crossing the road there, they thought that we were gonna hit them. So I'm gonna start going now and double check that, and we're good to go. Oh, yeah. So let's continue on. It's kind of confusing these pedestrians by slowing down because they wanted to cross. We are at the distillery district. Leave your comments in the comment section. Leave any feedback. Let us know how you think it performed. And as always, if you liked our video, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.